America. My name's Di. I'm one of the Money Max guys. And in this series, we are learning how to bank like a bank. In today's episode, we're going to talk about canceling interest using an offset account. Let's say that we have a $400,000 mortgage with a 6% rate amortized over 30 years. And now let's add our offset account. Remember, an offset account is an open-ended account. It could be a line of credit. It could be a high yield savings account. It can be a permanent insurance policy. But in this example, we're going to use a home equity line of credit. This line of credit has $25,000 available and a 10% interest rate. Now, how many of you guys would use 10% money to pay off six? Yes, I said that right. How many of you would use 10% money to pay off six? That's crazy talk, isn't it? It's counterintuitive. It flies in the face of logic. We would all use 6% to pay off 10, but never the inverse. But do you recall the one note I encouraged you to take at the beginning of the series? I said to write it big and write it bold. Rate does not matter. It's the type of product you're using and how that rate is calculated. And this is where I will prove it to you mathematically. So let's take $5,000 from our line of credit to pay down the first mortgage. At first glance, it doesn't look like we accomplished anything. We still owe $400,000. But what we did was we took $5,000 from a product that we have zero control over, and we transferred it to one where we have 100% control. And this single strategic funds transfer, it canceled $24,136.34 in future interest, and it eliminated a full year off of the back end of this loan. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. You're thinking, yeah, but that money wasn't free. You're right. It was $5,000 at 10%. And in month number one, the payment on that would be $41.67. How many of you would be willing to spend $41.67 to save over $24,000 in interest? Yes, that is a very equitable arrangement. But what if it takes us more than 1 month to pay back that $5,000? Okay, let's pretend that it takes 6 months to pay back. And let's say that the payment is $50, just to keep math simple. It's not 50, it's $41.67, but we're going to say it's $60 or $50. So 6 times 50, that's only $300. Anybody willing to spend $300 to save over $24,000 in interest? Oh yeah, I'd give that an amen on a weekday. Let's say it takes a full year. What's 12 times 50? Well, that's $600. Anyone willing to invest $600 to save over $24,000 in interest? Now I'm going to be silly. Let's pretend it takes 5 years to pay back $5,000. Well, if you do the math, that's still only $3,000. At what point does this scenario stop making sense? Well, that would be at the point where we pay more in interest than we actually save. And friends, that wouldn't happen in a 30-year period. So now that we fully understand that rate does not matter, I want you guys, if you find this content valuable, be sure to like, share, comment. And if you don't want to miss any future episodes, be sure to ring the bell and subscribe, because in our next episode, we are going to introduce our next banking principle called float and leverage.